Hello and welcome back to my channel. In this video we are going to solve some simultaneous equations that involves quadratic expressions. Now let us start with the first one. X plus y equal to 2 and x square plus 2y equal to 12. When they ask you to solve the simultaneous equations, they are actually asking you the values of x and values of y. So we have to find out the value of x and value of y by solving these two expressions. So now if we see here, we have two equations with us, x plus y equal to 2 and x square plus 2y equal to 12. Now we can choose either of the one to substitute in the other equation. Now in this example I am going to take the first equation to rearrange. So what I am going to do here is I will rearrange this equation and write it as let y be equal to 2 minus x. So I have rearranged this equation and I have taken x on the other side, so it became y equals 2 minus x. Next I am going to substitute y equal to 2 minus x in the second equation. So I can write it as x square plus 2. In place of y I am going to substitute 2 minus x. So here it becomes 2 minus x equals 12. So just a pure substitution. Next I am going to simplify this above equation. So I am going to use the distribution or expansion of the brackets. So 2 times 2 is 4 and 2 times minus x is going to give us minus 2x equals 12. We can further simplify this equation as x square. Let me take the minus 2x. Next, then comes plus 4, and now I am going to take the 12 on this side, so it becomes negative 12 equals 0. Now we can write it as x square minus 2x and plus 4 and minus 12 gives you minus 8 equals 0. Now as you can see, this is a quadratic equation, and to factorize it or to find the values of x we can use any of the methods. That is, one is splitting the middle term, or you can use the quadratic formula, or you can use the completing the square method. Now to solve this I am going to use the quadratic formula, which is given as x equals negative b plus or minus square root of b square minus 4ac over 2a. Now this is called as a quadratic formula, which can be used to solve any quadratic equations. Now in this case, this resembles the general form of quadratic equation, which could be written as ax square plus bx plus c equals 0. This is a general form of any quadratic equation. Now comparing the values of a, b and c with this equation, we get to know that a is equal to 1, because with x square there is a default 1. Now b will be equal to, now b is with x term, so with x term we have a coefficient of minus 2, so we write it as minus 2. The value of b is negative 2. Make sure that you are taking the signs as well. Then the c, which is a constant, and with comparison we can see that c is negative 8. Again take the signs. Now once we have got the values of a, b and c, we are going to substitute in this quadratic formula and write it as x equals minus the value of b is -2 plus or minus square root of -2 square minus 4 times a is 1, c is -8. This whole thing will be divided by 2 times 1. So here we get 2 minus times -2, which gives you +2, plus or minus. Now let us put this in the calculator and check. So square root of, put in the bracket, -2 squared and minus, then we can write here 4 times 1 and multiplied with -8. So that gives us the answer as 6. We get the value of 6. So we are going to substitute the value of 6 over here over 2. Now we have got two values of x given as x equals 2 plus 6 over 2, and another value is x equals 2 minus 6 over 2. So we have the x value as 8 over 2, which gives us 4. So let us take it as our first x value, so x1, and here we get x as 2 minus 6 is -4 over 2. So let us take this as our second value of x, which is -2. Now we have got the values of x, but we have to find the value of y as well. And since we have rearranged the value of y as 2 minus x, let us use this same equation and write it as, we'll take it as y1. So y1 equals 2 minus x1. So we get it as 2 minus 4, which is -2. And let us take it for the second value of x as well. y2 equals 2 minus x2. So substituting 2 minus of -2. So this becomes 2 plus 2, giving us 4. So for the first value of x, we get the value of y as -2, and for the second value of x, we get the value of y as 4. So this is how we solve the simultaneous equations for the quadratic expressions. So we get two values of x and two values of y. Let us look at the next question. Solve the simultaneous equations x minus 2y equals 1 and x square plus y square equals 29. Now here in this question, I'm going to rearrange the first equation again, and this time I'm going to take the -2y on the other side. So we get it as x equals 1 plus 2y. Now I am going to substitute x equal to 1 plus 2y in the second equation. In place of x, we have to substitute 1 plus 2y. Now since it is x squared, so we have to square the entire term. Plus y squared stays the same, equals 29. Now to expand the 1 plus 2y, the whole term squared, we can just write it here as 1 plus 2y, 1 plus 2y. So we have to multiply the two terms. So using the FOIL method, or the expansion or the distribution method, we get 1 times 1, it is going to be 1, and 1 times plus 2y gives you plus 2y. Then comes 2y times 1, which is again plus 2y, and 2y times plus 2y gives us plus 4y squared. So we can simplify this further, and by rearranging we get it as 4y squared plus 4y, because 2y plus 2y, they both are like terms, we add them together, and then finally plus 1. So this is the expansion of 1 plus 2y, the whole term squared. Now in place of 1 plus 2y, the whole term squared, I can just write its simplified form as 4y squared plus 4y plus 1, and this plus y squared, I'll write it again, equals 29. Now again, combining the like terms, we can write it as 4y squared plus y squared, that is 5y squared, plus 4y plus 1. Let me take the 29 on this side, it becomes minus 29 equals 0. Let me just separate this term out. Okay. Now further simplifying this, we get 5y squared plus 4y, and plus 1 and minus 29 gives you minus 28 equals 0. Now I am going to use the quadratic formula again, but here in this case the variable is y, so this time I am going to write it as y equals minus b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Again we are going to compare this expression with a y square plus by plus c equals 0. I am using the y term here because the variable is y. So this is the general form of the quadratic equation, as I had mentioned in the previous example as well. So by comparison, we can see here a is equal to 5, b is equal to 4, and c is equal to negative 28. So let us substitute the values of a, b and c in this expression now. So we get it as minus, the value of b is 4, plus or minus square root of b square. So 4 square minus 4 times a value is 5 and c value is negative 28. The whole thing divided by 2 times 5. Now negative times positive 4 gives us negative 4. Let us check what is the value of the square root which we get. Let us use a calculator. So here we have it as square root of 4 square minus 4 times 5, the bracket, negative 28. So get the value of this as 24. So in the square root place we have got the value as 24. So let us write it down. Whole thing divided by 2 times 5 is 10. So this is what we got for the y. Now again y will be having two values, which we can write it as y1 equals negative 4 plus 24 over 10, or we have the value of y, let us take it as y2 equals negative 4 negative 24 over 10. So solving this, we get minus 4 plus 24 gives us 20 over 10, which is nothing but 2, and here we get y2 equals negative 28 over 10, which we finally get it as negative 2.8. Now again we have got the values of y, but now we have to find the values of x as well. And by the rearrangement we had seen that x is equal to 1 plus 2y. So let us use that equation only. So we get here as x1 equals 1 plus 2y. So substituting here, x1 equals 1 plus 2 times 2. So we get it as 1 plus 2 times 2 is 4. So x1 value is 5. And here we are going to use the same thing. x2 equals 1 plus 2y2. So substituting, x2 equals 1 plus 2 times negative 2.8, which is nothing but 1. Plus and minus gives you minus. This gives you 5.6. So finally we have the answer as minus 4.6. So we have the value for the first one as 5, 2, and for the second one we have the values as negative 4.6 and negative 2.8. So these are the values of x and y for the given expression, these two. Now let us look at the third example. These kind of questions are quite popular in some exams. So let us see how to solve them. By eliminating y from the equations, y equal to x minus 4 and 2x square minus x times y equal to 8, show that x square plus 4x minus 8 is equal to 0. So here they want us to eliminate the y from either of the expression by substitution. So the easiest way is we can just substitute the value of y in this equation and get rid of the y term. So here the way to solve it is, let us take the second equation, which is 2x square minus x, and in place of y we are going to just put the value of y, which is x minus 4. So here we write x minus 4, and then we have equal to 8. As you can see, we have eliminated the y term. So we can write it here as 2x square, and we are going to expand the bracket, that is minus x times x gives us minus x square, and minus x times minus 4 gives us plus 4x equal to 8. Now 2x square and minus x square are like terms, so we can combine it together, and that gives us 1x square by subtracting both the terms plus 4x, and we can write or take this 8 over this side, getting it as negative 8 equal to 0. So if you want to write the 1 over here, you can write it, or if we do not want, we can just remove it, because the meaning remains the same. So let us see if we have got the equation which they had asked us to get. Show that x square plus 4x minus 8 equal to 0. Yes, we have got the same equation by getting rid of the y term. So it is as simple as this. So we have solved the part A. Now let us look at the part B. Hence or otherwise, solve the simultaneous equations y equal to x minus 4 and 2x square minus xy equal to 8, giving your answers in the form a plus or minus b radical 3. So they want us to get the answer in the form of a surd, and we need to find out the values of a and b. Now if we see, these two equations are repeated over here, and we have already got our equation in the form x square plus 4x minus 8. So we can again use the quadratic equation and solve the given expression. Using the quadratic formula is a easier way of solving the quadratic equation. So here I am going to use the quadratic formula again, which is given as x equal to negative b plus or minus square root of b square minus 4ac over 2a. So again comparing this with our general form, ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0 of the quadratic equation, we can see that a is equal to 1, b is equal to 4 and c is equal to negative 8. So we have to substitute the values here. We get it as negative 4 plus or minus square root of 4 square minus 4 times 1 times negative 8 over 2 times 1. So further solving it, we get it as negative 4 plus or minus square root of 4 square is 16, minus of minus becomes plus, and 4 times 8 is 32 over 2. So further simplifying this, we get it as negative 4 plus or minus square root of, this becomes 48 over 2. So let us see what is the value of plus or minus root 48. So we can write it as square root of root 48, which we get it as 4 root 3 over 2. So if your calculator is not giving you the answer in the form of a surd and it is giving you an answer as a fraction or a decimal, the thing you need to do is you have to just go to calculator and click on the shift and mode, and there is a number 1, click on 1. It asks you the result format. Again choose 1, that is math 0. So once you put it, again check it, square root of 48, it will give you 4 root 3. So by chance if you are not getting the answer in the form of a surd, use this way on your calculator, it should work. Now further solving this, we can just take the 4 out, we can factorize this, and we get the answer as negative 1 plus or minus root 3 over 2. So here we can divide the 4 with the 2, so we get the answer as 2 times negative 1 plus or minus root 3. So we can again distribute it back and get it as negative 2 plus or minus 2 root 3. So as you can see over here, they wanted us to get the answers in the form a plus or minus b root 3. So we have got the answer as a plus or minus b root 3, where a is equal to negative 2 and b is equal to 2 by comparison. So this is the way we solve these kind of examples. Now let us look at the last example of this topic, that is solve the simultaneous equations x minus 3y plus 1 equal to 0 and x square minus 3xy plus y square equal to 11. By now you might have understood we have to rearrange this equation. Choose the easier one for rearrangement. My advice is do not use the square expression. Use the one which is a linear expression for rearrangement. So here I will choose to keep the x term on one side and the rest two terms, that is minus 3y and plus 1, I will take on the other side. So they become 3y minus 1. So we are going to substitute wherever there is x term is there in the second equation with 3y minus 1. So in place of x square we are going to write it as 3y minus 1 the whole squared minus 3 times, again in place of x we are going to substitute 3y minus 1 times y plus y square equal to 11. Now 3y minus 1 the whole squared we can solve it by expansion as 3y minus 1 the whole squared as 3y minus 1 multiplied with 3y minus 1. So using the FOIL method or just multiplying the terms, 3y times 3y gives us 9y square and 3y times negative 1 gives us negative 3y and negative 1 times 3y gives us again negative 3y and negative 1 times negative 1 gives us positive 1. So simplifying this we get it as 9y square minus 3y and minus 3y are like terms, so we can add them together and write it as 6y plus 1. So in place of 3y minus 1 the whole squared we can write it as 9y squared minus 6y plus 1, and then expanding these brackets with 3y we get it as minus 3y times 3y gives us minus 9y square and minus 3y times negative 1 gives us plus 3y plus y square equals 11. Now as we can see 9y square and minus 9y square will cancel out each other. We are left with y square and minus 6y and plus 3y are like terms again, so adding them together we get it as minus 3y plus 1 and 11 we'll take it on this side, so it becomes minus 11 equal to 0. So simplifying this we get it as y square minus 3y plus 10, sorry it has to be minus 10 because minus 11 is greater, so the sign of the bigger number comes. So plus 1 and minus 11 gives us minus 10 equals 0. Now let me try the splitting the middle term for this equation. So something apart from quadratic formula and see if it works. So to do that we have to multiply the first coefficient with the last coefficient, that is 1 times negative 10 gives us negative 10. Now we'll start finding the factors of negative 10 which when added or subtracted should give us negative 3. So the factors could be 5 and 2 or it could be 10 and 1. Obviously 10 and 1 when added or subtracted gives us 11 and 9, so it is not a correct option. So we'll stick on to 5 and 2 because 5 times 2 gives us 10, and let us try to make combinations of 5 and 2 and see which one will give us negative 3. So we have, for negative 10 we can take either negative 2 and negative 5 and positive 2, which when multiplied gives us negative 10, or it could be positive 5 and negative 2, which will again give us negative 10, but their addition should give us a negative 3. So minus 5 plus 2, when we add them we get negative 3, and 5 and negative 2, when we add them we get positive 3. So obviously the right option is going to be negative 5 and positive 2. We are going to use this combination. Here it is positive 3, but we needed a negative 3, so this is a wrong combination. So I'm going to split the middle term now as y square, and there has to be a negative 5y, and it has to have a positive 2y, and minus 10 equal to 0. Now I'm going to factorize it by grouping the first two and grouping the next two. So here the term which is common is y, so I'll pull it out, and inside the bracket we'll write it as y minus 5, and here we can see that the factor is, or the term which is common out is plus 2, so we'll take y minus 5 equal to 0. So here in these two terms again y minus 5 is common, so I'll pull it out, it becomes y minus 5, and in another bracket we have y plus 2. So these are the two factors of this equation. So if you are using the splitting the middle term, this is the way we have to use the things. So we get the value of y here as y equal to 5. This is the first value of y, and the next value of y we have it as y equal to negative 2, because y plus 2 equal to 0, so y equal to negative 2. This is the second value of y. Now since we have got the values of y, we will find out the values of x using this rearranged formula, x equal to 3y minus 1. So x1 equal to 3y1 minus 1, and x1 equals 3 times 5 minus 1. So we have 15 minus 1, giving the first value of x as 14, and for the next one again x2 is equal to 3y2 minus 1. So substituting the value of y2 we get negative 2, negative 1. So here it is 3 times negative 2 is negative 6, negative 1. So the value of second x is negative 7. So we have the values of x as 14 when y is 5, and value of x as negative 7 when y is negative 2. So this is the way we solve these simultaneous equations for quadratic expressions. So if you're liking my videos, please like, share and subscribe to my channel, and thank you for watching.